Yeah. I'm trying to do like 4 different things at once. So this is turn that off. This is a tournament race in the hit and run tournament of 2019, Group 4, between Taytay and Gordon. Which I'll be going live within the next couple of minutes. Commentators for this race are me, Cisna, and Alexis, who is to be joining us.
Dumbass.
Oh, hello.
Okay, I had to jettison some fluids because I just spent the past 2 hours racing. I absolutely love Taytay's image. Too much. Okay. Okay, so welcome to the race between Taytay and GordonCMB. We're looking here at a relatively uneven race. We're not expecting like down to the absolute wire. We're looking at our 2nd seed of Group 4 playing our 4th seed of Group 4, each of whom have played 1 race and have won Tay has won 1 and Gordon has lost 1. So this is kind of formative for Taytay's group generally. Win this and they should look at a fairly confident 2nd place or maybe 1st place if they can pull off an upset against Duck Bob. And lose this and they might jeopardise going down into 3rd place and falling to the losers bracket. We're going to ask both runners, are you ready to start? Because we are at 3 o'clock and the race should officially begin around 9. Will do. One sec. I will tag them both. I'll just assume Taytay is Twitch username. Sam. Okay, sorry about that. Taytay ready. I don't know if Taytay's Twitch handle is the same as what they offered as their name for the race. No, it's Taytay3. Okay, they are ready. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
The words of the Little Walker, and it's go.
And we're going to be watching the opening cutscene for, I'll do a very quick check here. How many times have we seen this opening cutscene this tournament? This is the 31st time, or technically the 61st and 62nd time, given how we have 2 of them. So, I don't know, brief bit of small talk. How are you doing, Seasoner? You're somewhat of a prolific runner in this tournament as far as you just shave not getting a PB.
Yeah. Let's not talk about that. I'm just happy that both times in the tournament after my run, there's been one immediately afterwards, so I can root for someone in the salty run back.
Don't worry about that. I won't mention it. It's not going to be like, I think Gordon's actually running on RTA. I think. Are they both running on RTA? Do we have a console running here? We definitely have a console. That is
the only 2 console runners in this tournament are me and Lambton.
That's a very slow load from Gordon, and I think that they may just have swapped to IGT because I saw that timer drop by about 4 seconds. So we are going to see a very large desynchronicity between the 2 timers, which does make it somewhat difficult to determine who's ahead, because it's going to be a case of like, at this exact moment, 13 seconds separate what we actually see on the screens. So it's somewhat difficult, kind of like in the 400-meter race at the Olympics, how they all start at like different parts of like the actual curve to make sure they all run in equal distance. Or is that, I don't know if that's a 200, but whatever. Both of them going in.
It's 2 and 4.
Both runners managing reasonable cola capers, albeit Gordon, I think, would have 121. Not particularly great, but I'll digress. I'm just going to quickly try to scour the leaderboards because this is somewhat impromptu because this was a sign-up I did as a result of seeing no one else there. So I need to do my very quick research on our runner. Okay, it appears that they have a 151.42, which means we have a differential between our two runners of about 15 minutes. So we are going to see that pull out at several times. I don't know if it's perhaps going to be accentuated at any given point. Like, for example, Gordon might have a fairly rounded game, but an absolutely god-awful march. I know I did when I was at this level. As Taytay parks too close to net, meaning that he has to warp above the car. And there's a really weird thing where you can sometimes so close to net that, like, you don't just get out of your car by animation, but when you try to get back in, you don't warp back in a very peculiar way. And we do see already a bit of a gap between the two here, although again, there's 20 seconds of difference between those two timers. And Gordon with some very, there's a good example of like where you see like a runner like Taytay knows and Gordon does not. Gordon went around the wrong side of net, which means that that side in which Homer is in, I believe Gordon is a Russian, and I think they drive on the right-hand side of the road, so I'm not. Because like I remember when I first played this game, I used to always expect Homer to be in the right-hand side of the car because in Ireland we drive on the left. But no, just parking on the wrong side. Homer has to go all the way around his car just to talk to Ned. It's just slow. Don't want to do it. And we see here Taytay, I think, was trying to jump on the windscreen there because it allows you to not do a double jump when you're trying to pick up the inhaler. It's a very, very small optimization that you should never get obsessed over, although I know I do.
I have played enough, luckily, as far as the driving on the right is concerned.
Missing a box on Taytay's side. Sorry, go on.
I've played more than enough racing games in my time to know that in pretty much every single case, their cars are left-hand drive.
Indeed. Taytay now is slightly low on coins as far as Homer 1 is concerned, but generally speaking, if you want to miss coins, miss them early because you can correct them that way. And again, you just see Gordon here, just like the approach there was just off, and it just means that like the distance Homer has to actually jump is greater, which means the actual finesse of the jump to ensure you pick up that to make sure you pick up that inhaler rather than having to bloody like climb the dump truck in a normie way just takes a very long time. It's just very small things already which are just showing Gordon and missing a wasp and a box as Taytay manages a semi-successful nanny push. Very good, but not the fastest. And I think that it's not a despawn car, although that is not the optimal place to put the car. You want to put it in its driveway. As Taytay picks up the objectively better, I'll just allow everyone to either A, cheer, or B, hate me. Objectively better pickup truck.
As long as neither of them decide to go for a glass truck, because then they have lost their minds.
They haven't did. Okay, now we're going to see here a good shot on the first case for Taytay. And you don't want to make contact too early, because if you make contact too early and start trying to steer Smithers towards the wall, the issue is that Smithers does not want to be going off-road. So he will start to try to steer against you. And the longer you're in contact with the car, as these two old, kind of classily dressed women just get caught up in the crossfire. Okay, for a second I thought we were going to see a glass truck there. But yeah, is that the issue is that when you make contact with the car and try to steer it off course, it gets better and better as you maintain contact, accounting for your influence over its direction. So in missions where you need to steer a car, whether that be a garbage truck where you need to influence its direction in order to make it go fast, whether it be armor truck you need the backup, you don't want to make contact too early, because otherwise it will just steer and it's like you're not even there. As Gordon here is with the slightly stronger minivan, albeit slower. So we're going to see if they know how to do this, because it's a little bit tricky with the minivan, I found, when I was a bit of a lower runner. Although that's an ideal start to this. You want to hit them as close to the left-hand side of the wall as possible, because it allows them to go as fast as possible towards the wall. And you just saw the massive amount of damage that Gordon managed with Smithers crash into the house. I'm going to ask you to do something for me, Susan.
Uh-oh.
A Quimby impression. Do it.
No.
Yes. Go on. Come on. It's almost too late. It'll almost be too late. You got to get into it now.
I don't even...
Do it. Go on. You've played this game enough. Oh, Gordon
that doesn't mean I'm an impressions god.
I'm expecting impressions God, just impressions Jesus. Just go for it. Come on, it's almost too late. You can do a Marge or a Homer. Quick.
You're so
I'm gonna really rail you for this one next cutscene.
It doesn't help that obviously I don't have their audio, so I don't even know if I'd be in sync on.
A second drop from Gordon. Gonna have to go for a very, very... Yes, Seasoner, you're a coward.
And fucking proud.
Okay, Taytay here is, I've always actually wondered, because around that corner there where the van drove into a glass truck, sometimes I have found ways where you can get a certain distance and an angle so that you can actually despawn that truck or whatever traffic vehicles. I find it's very consistent that you get blocked. But it does actually cost you a lot of time, as Taytay is going to go for this box, perhaps trying to correct for Neighbour's Garden miss. Although that box has recently, as far as my knowledge of the game is concerned, because I've been somewhat inactive for a while, has been routed out. Now I'm going to ask you again, Quimby impression now.
Oh no. I'm too late. I missed it.
You're a coward. Okay, so again, you just see a very large differential here between the two timers and also the two runners, as Taytay opted to pick up that vending machine and did actually hang back before going into the power plant, because this surveillance van exhibits forms of rubber banding, which basically means the closer you are to a car, the faster it goes with the follow mission, because this game tries to make itself very difficult to lose to in the early game. The issue is that we want this van to go fast, but sometimes going fast is going slow, because if it goes fast, it can crash. If it crashes, it's going slow. And it's actually not good. Couldn't actually lose 5 coins out of that transaction, getting zapped by a wasp and not picking up the wasp at all, or the coin zapped off. See how Gordon is. I'm going to expect a fairly safe early coin route, because these are the missions that are very easy not to fail. So I'm going to assume they're going to pick up a bunch of coins now so they don't have to pick them up later, and they're going to focus on not failing missions later. Although I'd say against a runner of Taytay's caliber, you can't do that. So I am expecting a pretty one-sided race, although I frankly hope to be proven wrong. And I wasn't actually looking at what was happening there. Gordon's band is deciding to go round, as Taytay's managing a pretty decent Bone Storm, albeit a little bit slow to get to this point. It's actually an ideal number of drops to have at this point. Maybe a little bit on the low side. You might want to have gotten the 10th a little bit earlier. But due to the fact that the Bone Storm truck was a bit wonky in its driving, it was just slow to get to where it did. And if it's faster getting there, and you also get those 10 drops at the same point, get faster. Simple as. As we're going to see Gordon's attempt to get Stonecutter's tunnel.
easy. If only.
Oh, that was too easy. Can you come in? Hey, Alma.
And now showing off our first landscape of the game. I'm not exactly sure how these happen. I've seen I imagine that I could ask more technically knowledgeable people, as Oh my god, Gordon actually managed a little strat here. Is that when you're forced to warp, in, for example, Barton Frank, for example, 6-1, for example, that if you leave your car at the right moment, you lose collision. So you can actually run through walls and get out of bounds that way. And it's very interesting, and briefly was considered as a method of making 100% coin grinding much faster by eliminating the need to go around Custody Studios, little maze-like area.
We're number one. We're number one.
Taytay to finish with about a 12:05 Homer 1, and Gordon managing a pretty respectable bone storm for a runner of their caliber.
I gotta get the... No problemo. All right.
I'll get you, Bart.
No option to get a traffic car by Taytay.
Not.
Typically we will get one because every single traffic car other than the surveillance van and the sedan are significantly better at going around. Taxi being the second best due to its very good top speed, albeit limited acceleration, and very, very terrible handling. Sports car being optimal for fixing the two great problems that and we're going to probably see DMB strats here from Taytay because Skinner spun him out and then proceeded to go through the shortcut.
Gator, that's the bug. That's totally awesome.
The reason why DMB strat there works is because the interiors of these games are not actually inside the buildings.
So cool.
The interiors of all buildings are very far off out of bounds because it's a lot easier
How about a large
to model an interior of a building just out of bounds and teleport you there than it is to model it to be actually geographically or spatially consistent with the outside of the building. So in old games such as Banjo-Kazooie or any particularly collectathon games, if you see that screen like do a quick fade to black, it's because it's doing a little bit of a cheat thing where it's teleporting you elsewhere because the game designers find it too difficult, or there wasn't the technology at the time to model the inside of the building. Gordon here is going to finish. Again, just a lot of things just not right. You're just braking too early, making it so you have to run rather than drive to Burns. Finishing with 13:21, Homer 1. That is just very poor. Albeit, again, it's a lower tier runner. We can expect these things from them. And I do hope that they stick with the game because massive improvements are always available to everybody. Except for when you're top. And Gordon is going to be opting for traffic car, although I think that sports car is trying to get away. No, it doesn't.
One does. Safe and sound.
Gordon here opting for a somewhat peculiar strat there, but it does work. I'll grant them that. Taytay opting to pick up the vending machine. Actually, I'm not entirely sure what that building is.
I fought the law and I won. Killer. Hey, jump. Bart Simpson at your service.
Both runners in exactly identical cars, albeit no longer because Boxer Dooley removes the car. Or no, I think perhaps there was less of a tan element to that car, more of a green element to Taytay. As we see, the freebie is achieved, albeit at the cost of getting a small crash, which does lose a bit of time, although not enough time that the nerd car will beat them in the race. Even though nerd car is much faster, it's very volatile in its driving pattern and crashes a lot.
It's also programmed to not cut corners, which is where you save the majority of your time.
I'm happy to report.
I know that myself. They got all the way to the fountain in my race earlier, and I very nearly failed. Taytay now is probably okay. There we go. A good purple sedan, nice and lavender. Moving to Barton Frank.
I gotta play. Fine by me.
In my last run,
Asphalt eaters.
the the nerd car got all the way to the fountain, and only because it crashed into they actually crashed into a 1 pixel on the corner or something. That's why it didn't fail.
Whee!
Dirt jump here from Tay, and that fan went wide, and then it just like bounced off the wall because physics. And going around slowly, which is, as the name suggests, slightly slower, although less likely to get a bad crash at the end. And picking up this wasp, I think they already have there too. They pick up the Town Hall wasp at the beginning. Bart and Frank also got Boxer Julian. They've not done a main menu work since. Although the wasp does get away, it would have been handy to pick up because that wasp can be picked up and better than beat, although ideally you don't do it because it's on a slightly slower route, as Gordon is not going to manage Wiggum escape. This could become difficult, and I imagine it will because Wiggum is catching up, as Taytay manages a somewhat tight pickup in the box at the end of the surveillance van section of the Mr. Barton thing. A very long escape here from Gordon. A very long escape. And the issue with this is that the way that these follow missions, whether it be getting away from or following missions, work is straight line distance. You'll notice the highway is very curved and loops over on itself. Like bits of it can be above other bits of it. So while you might think, oh, I'm actually very far, I've driven quite a far away, Wiggum can be directly under you and very close. And that makes escaping very difficult. And also Boxing Dooley is one of the longest pants in the game, and is very fortunate for us not to actually require, due to the position we finish, weapons mass languidity, should all things go well. And Gordon manages a nice little freebie at the present See how Taytay's going to go. Oh, Taytay is going to opt for it, but does pause too early.
Hey there, Mr. No problemo.
Cletus Shop, Cletus Shop, Cletus Shop. Where do you stand on the Cletus Shop debacle, Susan?
Out of my way,
I'm
man.
fine with it.
Yes, you're a filthy consider.
If anything, the only thing about it is my opinion of it is tainted purely because of how many times I've been screwed over by the Wheel of Fortune, but that's kind of not related to Cletus, I suppose.
It is related to Cletus, that's not why. Cletus is responsible for all the ails of the world. We all know this. I'm just saying what everyone is thinking. So you notice that Taytay picked up that Roadkill 11th, even though it's not really 11th in the sequence as far as how we do the mission. The reason for that is that if we do that, we land down and it actually allows us to go much quicker, and if we pick it up on approach, it requires us to do a much wider turn, which loses us time as Taytay picks up that wasp which they tried to pick up earlier during the Barton Frank mission. However, it did drive off from them, and we're going to see how this after escape works for them. They're going to want to keep it wide on the right, and they're going to keep it wide on the right and then get away. What's up?
I see him run.
Oh dear. Oh dear. This is going to be hit and run. This is going to be difficult. Although that's a very fortunate top car spawn.
First he broke. Easy peasy. Oh yeah, I totally rule. You expect. Jump the light speed.
What's going on, Susan?
Zoto, what the fuck is that?
That's right, man.
And now, speaking of Zoton, Taytay about to buy a car from his husband. If you'll remember, during Scyther's marathon race, Zoton incorrectly identified Homer as a little husband of his son. And I don't know about you, but I did not really get the Edith sub-themes of Simpsons Run, although I might just not be smart enough to read it that way. As Taytay is going to pick up some fairly safe points, getting a freebie, but also picking up a vending machine that is often routed out of most runners with higher calibers. Route, as we see here, Gordon is probably going to pick up that traffic car because they was fortunately spawned in such a way that it's one taking that.
I also missed the Oedipus link mostly because I tried to avoid making Freudian references.
I was going for more Christophany, so thank you very much. I gotta go for the source material rather than that. We're going to see now Taytay does not have to pick up the gazebo box because they already got it during Garden Deep in their little scrap. Also,
Taytay doing something I didn't actually realise was possible for the longest time in this mission.
what's up? What is this? Oh! Oh no! Soaring like an eagle over the monkey. And are we going to see this? We are going to see lip strap. Let's do it. Woo! Let's go up a minute. Okay, Gordon finishing up better than B, but a very good time. Typically, I will see like runners with a lower time have a much tighter finish to the for the final road kill. Taytay here opting for at both sides of Town Hall. Although often I see most runners will decide to pick that side of Town Hall they did first, do it last. I'm not exactly sure why, but I just find it significantly faster in my own experience to do that because of how you like depart and get towards the last bit of the mission. And you see here, Gordon is quite high in hit and run and was quite slow through the crusty bigger car park, so we're going to notice perhaps not quite as smooth of an escape, and it's not going to be. They're going to have to go for a little strat here where we do this little U-turn after who gets stuck in the park.
Thy name is Bart.
And opting for dirt jump, Gordon is having quite a tumultuous time here. Should get the escape now as Apu goes through the little slalom. Although if Apu escaped, Apu can catch up again. Although Apu does not. As move into salads and RNG being very unfortunate for Taytay. Although not the end of the world, it's very easy to get some big hits in the tunnel even if you do not get the initial hit. And this should be fine. Should be destroyed before the end of the tunnel. And some very good camera work to ensure that they're able to see the salad card at all times, albeit now it's a little bit more difficult because the walls are a bit further away from the road, and also if you get to this point it can get more and more tricky. This is a very, very bad first car for someone of Taytay's standard.
Definitely not ideal revenge.
It's not a particularly good second car. You don't want to be getting caught there. You want him to get to the wall where that little new standy seat now is, because it allows you to pick up more momentum, which basically means you can often kill this guy in 3 hits. One the initial hit, one where you just guide him into the wall, and the third just to finish him off, as we see Gordon pick up Mr. Pliers. This is a very, very poor sellout, and this is a very bad position to be starting off the third car, because I think this will be okay, but they might not get back into position in order to get a good first hit. They do, but they're not going to have quite as much of a time buffer to position themselves in order to force a craftsman to sit and rotate, and they just won't.
And as a result, it makes the position for the final car very, very difficult.
The fourth car's out like a bat out of hell. It's a very and just look at that. It strides right by you. It's agonizing. I can tell you I've done that plenty of times myself. And I can only imagine Seasoner has as well. Although that's a little bit like And again, just managing some just not very good strats, because the thing is that this car for a while goes in the direction we need it to go. So let's say, hypothetically, instead of going a 5:37 stadium time, we basically measure sellouts by how long you have left and finish the final car. If you were to get like 3 seconds worse of a stadium time, but you were much closer, like let's say you're by these two fire trucks, you'd actually save 14 seconds because it took Taytay that long to get to this position. As we see here, Gordon is probably going to pick up a lot of safety points.
I didn't do it.
Cutscene skip, yay or nay? What do you think? So season it.
This is bad boy.
Bad
Yay.
dirt jump there. I'm going to say nay, just to be contrarian. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pauses, and it is a cutscene skip for Tay. Although, barely, like, not the quickest on the escape key. Imagine just trying to make sure they didn't accidentally unpause. Although that is, like, as far as cutscene skip goes, that's fairly costly time-wise. And you see here, as said earlier, Gordon is going to be picking up a lot of safety points, already more coins than Taytay and a mission behind. And with a few coins in this monkey dough left to pick up.
Do we know what frame rate each of these two are playing?
I'm going to assume that Taytay's actually on a rather high frame rate because they overshot the monkey earlier. I don't think it's... I think it's fairly difficult, unless you're attempting to overshoot the monkey, to do so. And I imagine Gordon will be on a higher frame rate too, because unless you're some absolute mad person, like very original 95 for example, you're not likely to be going for out of bounds at this level. Although getting the AM radio choice, and now I believe they are 9 minutes ahead by my calculations in time deduction, they are going to get what an episode of The Simpsons that was. Well, I always forget what Bart supposedly was called as well. Who's the little boy down the well?
I haven't actually seen an episode of the show in many years.
Wow. You're gonna have to re-educate yourself. See how Gordon does on self. I'm gonna say probably better than Taytay. Oh, not because I'm confident in Gordon, it's simply because I'm that confident. Just how calamitous Taytay's was. Not a single car went right. And you see here already the first car significantly better. Albeit, actually that was a fine scout. I was going to say this for a second, like perhaps let him go into the back of you. But it's fine.
It isn't that this might be better, it's just that it's going to be very difficult for it to be worse.
Yeah, it's not better, it's just less worse. Although so far quite good, albeit the cornering a little bit safe for my liking. Although a very good first hit, shouldn't be going for the second hit if they're, because you're going to notice here, I think they're going to do this strat I mentioned earlier. If they manage it, you're going to notice that they don't manage it. But if they did, you would have noticed that that car would be one hit from death, and that would be true had they gotten that second hit head on or not. So essentially that second hit is pure time loss. What we're going to see here is Taytay going to pick up the B-20. I wonder if this level, I think, has the justification to say I will. Because the reason why we get B-20s here is because we can get them in a big coin pickup there for Gordon as a result of the blow up of the sellout car, and should not be in a good position for the fourth car unless they manage a quite good catch against sit and rotate. And that is a decent one, but not a great one. But yeah, the reason why we get clues coins there is because we can pick them up later in Old Pirate in the Sea, but the issue is that that requires us to do the limo in a slower fashion. So if you think you can get fast limo, don't do that. And I think Gordon's already 10 seconds ahead of Taytay's sellouts, based purely on the point at which they start the last car. And we're going to see here clueless coins.
Although unfortunately, because of how it went for them, they were also not in a very good position to start.
That's a pretty good backup there, albeit I'm not quite sure how that car is going to handle that the big house of matches and also the fire truck. That's actually a semi-decent backup for like a lower tier runner, I'd have to say. Like, as in, it's pretty innovative, it worked. And I'm going to say it may be the exact same value, 538, 537, but you notice Gordon is a lot closer to the finish, where they actually start the route back to the stadium. Bonfire the Manatees, a very difficult mission for some runners, although I suspect Taytay will be good at this. You see there a bit of camera control, making sure there's no traffic cars. Although this is a slightly safer route, because what he's going to do is he's going to allow Cletus to crash into him. because actually you got to reset that. You got to reset that. That is not going to work for you, friend. But yeah, you let Clueless crash into that, buffers his speed, and then it's a lot easier to guide him, albeit that one didn't work, as we see here. Another very long load for Gordon. And this should be successful, yeah.
I will be the first to say that Bonfire is one of the worst missions in this entire game to do quickly.
Yeah, it's a very difficult mission to optimize, albeit there are some backups that are pretty.
I despise Bonfire with a deep-rooted passion.
Tell us about it. I mean, the race is sort of like self-explanatory for now. Like, Gordon's going to be picking up some coins, Taytay's going to be going through some pretty standard missions. I might interject occasionally, but tell me about your deep-seated, hate-filled passion. Does it keep you awake at night? Do you lie awake at night, tossing and turning, sweating in the covers? How I hate Bonfire, says Seasoner.
Well, I mean, I do toss and turn, unable to fall asleep, but that's for completely different reasons. That's because I just legitimately have troubles getting to sleep.
Insomnia gang, rise up. As you see Taytay here, 1,031 coins, at least a cool purchase. That is a very nice number of coins, albeit they did get beach coins, so it is kind of expected.
The thing is with me, with Bonfire, is that, as I said earlier, I'm a
Fish
casual
ram.
runner. Because I therefore have a much lower frame rate. When pushing against Cletus, trying to force him into the gap, he has a tendency to just drive over me and just basically treat me as if I don't exist and drive away.
Excuses. Albeit that sense of being like treated like you're not there and someone goes away. That's feel. That goes deep down. As you see here, Camp Krusty coins picked up, albeit not in the most optimal way, because Fishman is actually the best car in order to get Camp Krusty in the fastest way. I totally not feel it. Just sit on the fence like Seasoner does with his truck. Be one of those filthy fence sitters who just won't toss their lot in with anything. And a very good first car, although not quite brilliant because not building up enough speed in order to make the last hit register. As you see here, Gordon going for Clueless, although again, you see a lot of small things wrong, like driving too far forward to destroy the vending machine before you actually talk to Milkhouse. It's a lot faster to brake before you get down there, destroy the vending machine afterwards, because you have to leave that little car park anyways to get to the next part of the mission. I'd say that Gordon here might just be able to empathise with you, Seasoner, because their loads look truly awful. They know what it's like to be a console runner.
Except for the fact that their loads aren't accounted into their time, unless...
Are you a little bit bitter?
I mean, I'm not bitter, because that would imply I actually give a crap.
Of course, you don't care. It's cool not to care. Managing a very good second and third sedan from Taytay, this should be fine. And also you see here, as a result of doing this, their earlier decision to pick up the beach points during Clueless is actually paying dividends, because if you get the slower strat, like I do a lot personally, I don't go for beach points because I expect either third sedan or limo not to go perfectly, and those points not to be too integral to my route. So if you have a run like that, you will sort of have a bit more leeway, and you will not go for Clueless points in the beach, and that means your Clueless will be faster, but you're accounting for a potentially slower limo or a potentially slower third sedan. As you see here, Taytay hopefully whispering sweet nothings in Snake's ear. I might just ask you this, Seasoner, what's your favourite thing about Snake?
Running over an elderly person without a license.
The fact that the icon is different console to PC.
Is it?
Yeah.
How so?
On PC you can see his face, but on console there's a third bar that runs through the middle of the icon that completely just dissects his face.
Oh my god. Dissect?
But it basically just like runs through that. It basically just like goes between his eyes.
Okay, I don't mean to be that one, but I think you meant bisects. Dissect means that you cut it open. And Gordon here opting for not a very poor decision here. Honestly, you should never ever reset. Just continue on Bonfire of the Manatees if you don't manage to strat first time, because it is so slow. Just look at it. And there's so many street lamps here. If you hit him through a street lamp, it doesn't register. It's just remarkably slow. As you see here, Taytay's going to be pulling a huge lead. Well, not quite as big as we think it is, because as I should point out, there is a minute and 20 seconds discrepancy between the two timers. And a quick shout out to anyone who played a ton of Papers, Please for constantly using the word discrepancy, because damn, that game is not a lot. And that's a very strange drop up on the hill on the drop for Gordon, and I hope that will despawn, because if it doesn't, I don't think that's gettable unless you get the car. And if it's still there, he can't drop more than 15, and it does despawn, fortunately. As we see here, approximately the exact same position, but on different missions. Gordon's early game perhaps very good, because for all the mistakes they're actually making, I don't know if this is perhaps race nerves or something like that, and they're not doing what they normally would do. But they're still so red. They're just to me, I don't think that that this should be the case, because maybe they have like a very good early game in Kiwi.
I mean, yeah, Gordon's just kind of going with it. He has no delusions that I say delusions. He's under no expectations. I was going to say delusions of grandeur, but then I realised that
No, you're a place.
He's under no expectations, like personal expectations, that he's going to win.
Yeah, that's a good mindset to bring into it. I do find that people who have hedged their bets, that they're definitely going to do great. You know, they have more like psychologically to fall, as far as that's concerned. As Gordon, another person after my own heart, picking up a fish fan. See how Taytay goes with fast limit. This does not look good, and they are going to crash, which they're going to restart the mission. That is probably wise, I'd say. Although if they don't get the fast limo here, it will not be wise, because I do think there's a slim chance they could have caught up with the limo and gotten the backup. Nice fast limo. So we do see here again the dividends being paid for having gone for beach coins earlier, because Taytay already has them. It's no problem that that limo died particularly early, albeit with a reset.
And Gordon going for the tree strat and screwing himself over in the process.
Another example where I just say that the dam strat is not that much slower, because unless your driving is very good, you're unlikely to actually, if you just like didn't touch the sedan, you're unlikely to actually beat it to the dam. And that dam is a very, very safe one hit from death hit, as they get a very, very fortunate hit against that fish fan as we move into March. And I want to say one thing of note, that never be afraid to restart a mission sometimes. If you know what you're doing, never be afraid. Taytay has restarted twice, and they're still commanding a very large lead, albeit we are expecting that large lead to exist. That lead would not be as big if they followed and did Bonfire of the Manatees in the intended quote-unquote ways. Will Taytay go after Sadly's heart? Will they go for those 2 coins? No, they will not. Someone clip this and spam Sadly's DMs with that. Slide into those DMs and just show those 2 points off. Will we see Donut Fire? I do not think we will, and a very, very poor attempt at it at that. Not even close. Taytay is probably going to have to go for the backup here. Does manage it here, and is actually in a pretty good position to get it, because you don't want to be on a hill, because it allows Donut Chuck to build up more speed. And this is going to be a somewhat weird strat. I don't know if this is going to work, so I don't know if Donut Chuck's packing works around today. Gordon has a chance to catch one.
This is a poor donut truck. That's coming from me.
Don't sell yourself short. What are you, like you're the third best console runner ever?
That's like saying I'm the 3rd best communist country. It doesn't mean anything.
I will not respond to that. I'm gonna see here. Will Snake be kind? Will Snake be kind to Gordon? Will Gordon, slide off to Snake and say, "Okay, Snake, I know it's not very difficult, but I think you're feeling confident. That's why what you're doing with the hair and your ear piercings. I'm actually really fond of them. I think they're really cool." And perhaps Snake, through osmosis, whether Gordon did it or not, perhaps my sweet nothings managed that drop. And we move into Redneck Roundup. This is a mission I will say to any lower tier runner. Play it safe. Honestly, play it safe. This is a mission that you can really just accumulate a lot of resentment, rage towards. And I'm sure Susan will agree with me here.
There's a reason I do this mission in the Malibu Stacy Cup.
Seasoner forges his own path in that respect.
Well, mainly just because I get wobbly Canyonero 100% of the time. It is 100%. Therefore, I would not do this mission in the wobbly Canyonero if I had the option. So I don't.
Taytay opting for one vending machine. That is a fairly safe strat if you know how to do it. Also, it does require a fair bit of finesse as far as your actual steering is concerned, as it's a fairly good pickup on that Twidport block. Most runners of lower level will typically drive straight into it and then reset. It's slightly slower due to the fact that you don't maintain momentum, and you actually spawn slightly further back along the road. And now in the most Cletus truck heavy part of the run, aka my least favourite part of the run. Taytay going to the midpoint of it. We'll be going to get Marge in late. Marge looking very classy in orange. I hear it's the new black. And then main menu working likely to reset the boss painter in order to get more freebies, as we see Gordon here finishing fish deals and will leaping around the school bus to see what they go for. I imagine they will attempt fast limo, because they did earlier pick up beach coins.
I remember in the good old days we used to use Mr. Plow for this mission.
The good old days, because we thought Mr. Plow was a lot more agile. But no, school bus it is. How long ago has it been since we did that? Gordon going for a very, very different strat from what most people go for. We'll see if this works. I think what they're trying to do here is they're trying to basically... okay, that is not what they're doing, it seems. I thought they were going to try to do that thing where you collide head-on with a car and just keep on accelerating into it until eventually it gives up and tries to find an alternate route around you, and then you slam into it again and force it into the wall, which does manage a good bit of damage, but it's very slow with respect to the limo, although managing a very, very nice little finish. Eddie manages to get out of the car before it blows up, quite miraculously. I've always wondered why it is that Eddie is driving the car there. I'm going to see Gordon here going for, again, perhaps an intended route. I actually never did this as a kid. I tried to jump onto the C-Spanker from the side. I don't know if you did, Susan, but I know I failed this mission a lot.
The way that I do it now is the way I always used to try and do it as a kid.
How do you do it? Do you use that lamppost?
Yeah, jump on the little wooden thing and then jump onto the lamppost. So I was never any good at it.
Ahead of your time, you're destined to be a speedrunner.
Mostly just because I actually didn't even... I was the kid who was just like, oh, the way that you go through the C-Spec, I didn't even know that existed as a kid. Know the way that we do it now, where you drive through and you reset and you go onto the other side.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. Set to Kill was an absolute horrible mission.
Yeah, I didn't realise that that area existed as a kid. That you could even get onto this inspector that way.
Same here. It's because like the glasses in front of it isn't actually intuitive. I don't think so anyways. It doesn't look like most other glasses.
But I actually thought for a while. when
Oh,
I was a
clip this
kid,
and give this to Sadly. Those 2 coins are picked up. Go on.
the intended way. I actually, as a kid, I thought the intended way was for you to go all the way around and for you to jump on the way that you do in the Millhouse race.
Yeah, that's what I did. I think
That's
I did
what
do the Millhouse race beforehand. It might just have like hedged my bets as far as that's concerned.
That's what I always thought the intended way was. I was like, that's really slow. I'll just do this.
Speedrunner DNA, deep in seasoning. Oh, okay, this is not going too well for Gordon. Although actually getting fortunate that the traffic car that almost destroyed him became his savior somehow.
It's not horrendous. It's
Garbage truck trying to turn this mission to garbage. Segways, everyone, segways. I don't know, too bad, I'd say.
It
Better.
wasn't that bad.
Better than Taytay, I'd say. Now moving on to Return of the Nearly Dead. Everyone should be hearing Lisa. I'm gonna kind of put myself on a limb here. I don't think Lisa's that bad. I think people's opinion of Lisa is warped, where they only measure her by how bad she was when every other character in the show became standardized. I don't think she's that bad. I think she's a very good character.
I love the voice lines in this game. I think they're great.
Yeah, I think they're great. Oh, and the bit of bad luck for Gordon there, because what happened there you saw was that the garbage truck collided into the, for some reason, nuclear waste truck. I was always confused by that as a kid. Why is there this pickup truck carrying open nuclear waste around with it? But yeah, basically the truck collided into the other truck, and when NBC cars get hit, they briefly sort of lose their shit and they do nothing for a while. And the issue with that is that that truck was in the way of Cletus, and we want Cletus to go fast, because Cletus go fast means we go fast, to use the technical terminology. And just a bit of bad luck, albeit this Cletus truck did manage to get through quite decent, almost as though it's not the worst truck ever, although it is. I will not hear any opinion. Are we going to see 2 cycle? Yay or nay? Oh yeah, that ninth drop looks very safe. I think this is fine. Although I've seen this happen before with drops as early as that, but very, very rarely. Late drop, big drop. Now see here again, like the cornet's very different. I think Taytay's cornet is actually better at this point because they bought one more outfit than Gordon, and they're at approximately the same number of points. Whilst there are points up for Gordon because they have a redneck hand that's very safe, I'm thinking that Taytay's points are actually better right now on that. I'm not resetting, that's not very good for Taytay. It is faster to reset as soon as you break the plastic glass. Susaner, are you going to disappoint me again?
Probably.
At least you're honest.
I mean, I've had 23 years of disappointment. I'm West up now.
Can I ask you to take the part of March? I will do the part of Grandpa if you do the part of March. Come on, do this. Do it.
Now I have a reason with the raccoon. Let me know
What?
Surrounded by Tojo and his
Nothing. Now where was I?
So there I was, surrounded by Tojo and Nazi henchmen. When one of them, Raccoon as I recall, hits me with a banjo. Now I have a reason for the Raccoon, let alone a Nazi one. Grandpa, what's this got to do with the crab circles? Not a thing. Anyways, the first time I drove in an undercar water car, crab circles!
have to describe it
Okay,
in
okay.
sepia
It was so long ago that I'll have to describe it in sepia tone.
tone.
Well, as I recall, it was kind of a cosmic-looking thing, shaped like a planet with an old-fashioned radio antenna coming off it. A planet with an antenna. That sounds awfully familiar. I think it was at the pretty part. That's it. It was on a battle of power. Maybe that will jog Bride's memory. I'm just gonna guess she says, "March in charge" at the end of that, although she could say many things. Moving into the main menu, I'm into ensure we have the Canyonero for the Cola truck. And I know you're all wondering this. I'm wondering this too. Seasoner, how long until you do cola trucks in Malibu Stacy car?
When someone pays me quite a lot of money.
But it's more stable. As we do see Gordon not managing the jump between the 10th and 11th drop, so it did have to go around, meaning they're going to cost about 20 seconds. See if they're going to go for Chessboard Wasp. It's fairly consistent in Cletus truck because it has a monumentally huge hitbox. As we see, March Classy. Debate. I'm disappointed. I'm not mad, I'm disappointed.
Disappointed.
Disappointed. Taytay into Neighbour's Garden, not managing a ground pound wasp. Will they manage it now? Will not actually get anything. Going for the ground pound somewhat advisedly considering they were out of range of actually getting the box.
Did we miss a Wheel of Fortune?
I think we might have, although they were fairly tight on time. They should be fine here. Ah!
Just let me guess.
That scared me.
I thought it was okay. It looks fine. No, it wasn't. Just like the light. Okay, so we're going to see here the second and final mission that takes place entirely on foot, although not the last mission that requires a parkour moment. As we see the transfer from gas station to quick mart to gas station, managing a somewhat weird jump. I hope they'll be getting Mr. Flower Jacket. If they do not, I will be scolding them in the after race interview. Missing the culture, or missing the color can, and they will be getting scolded. They will be getting an earful from me. I will be asked to speak to their manager. We'll see if that Gordon manages more luck on the 11th to 12th transition this time. They should, and they do, actually a very nice one there, managing quite a bit of momentum and not having to steer in order to stay on track for the ketchup packet, and should not be getting Wheel of Fortune, or if they do, should have another opportunity in order not to fail.
As long as they get bought, it's fine. Because if they miss bought, that's a 45-minute penalty.
It is, I mean, obviously, and that just goes without saying. See how first truck goes. This is, in my opinion, the most difficult truck to do best. Not a very good one, but this could be okay if they manage to get the rhythm right, because the way in which the cars work is they usually get kind of second after they get slammed. They sort of go like, okay, I'm just going to hit in the back here. I think I'm going to get off of this. And if you get that rhythm right, you can ensure that they never actually escape, because you'll be hitting them just as they start to reverse, which maximizes damage potential, because you'll get both that moment in which you hit it and also the moment in which it hits the wall will both be two separate damage points, and you essentially get two hits for the price of one. Imagine quite a good first chunk, albeit not the ideal one. Gordon adding 4 more tires to the tire fire, following it briefly.
Doing the Lord's work.
Okay, and Canyonero will not stop Taytay from picking up those 31 points. I don't like their points. I'm actually kind of notorious for underestimating how many coins are at the end of March, and I don't like those points. Gordon did not opt to pick up Malibu Stacy car.
Yeah, and I'm notorious for just completely front-loading on coins. So,
I think, like, what?
Before I picked up
What is this method? They just restarted the mission. I don't know why. Why are they going this route?
I don't know. But before I why is my brain not working?
It's okay. Mine doesn't either.
The box in
Take your time.
just before the chessboard in
Okay.
Burlington Mansion, I used to pick that up in ketchup logic.
I did
And when
that too.
used-
Yeah.
When I used to do that, my goal was to have around 1,000 points before I bought police.
Wow.
That's how much I used to front load.
Have you considered getting better at the game?
No, yeah, I rude. It's because I just don't pick up basically anything in our food.
Fair enough. I did have that at the start as well. I used to pick up everything in incriminating caffeine before incriminating caffeine. Now I pick up literally nothing except for dirt jump bots. So like it is understandable. We all have like our gripes with this game. I know I do. As we see here, a slightly different method for Gordon, as they are going to be doing wolves on my pills in the canyon there now. Although it does make that wasp on the school stairs more consistent. I did not see earlier whether Taytay did get it, as they do destroy the final truck, and they actually do look fine on coins now because they still do have plus 2 damage.
I'm surprised that Gordon decided not to, upon spawning the black car, get out and switch to the Michael Stacy car.
I think that was actually the original strat. When we started to switch to Melody Stacy, I think that was our original strat, and then we found out about the pan skip later.
It's what I used to do.
Now you
I
just get
used-
Melody Stacy car as early as possible.
Yeah, I used to do the beginning of the mission in the Canyonero. Get the box and wasp behind the school, go and get the coins on top of the school roof, run off the front, and then get Malibu Stacy there.
Yeah, that is
That's
you
what-
weren't lying when you talked about front-loaded coins, were you?
Yeah, that's like true 2017, 2016, 2017.
It is indeed. I still like that is up there with getting the vending machine at the end of Blind Big Brother, just because it's there.
I still do that.
Four-wheel disgrace.
Don't. As Gordon manages to avoid the 2 cycle, and Taytay's opting to pick up one side of Town Hall, I hope they don't pick up anymore. That is actually, I think ill-advised. That is easy enough to pick up after escaping from the second limo. They actually misaligned the dirt jump. They were trying to hit the girder in order to avoid the possibility of missing dirt jump entirely by just factoring out the idea of speed, because if you hit the girder, that is the most effective form of brake, hitting a wall.
If I may add something to this, I believe that dirt jump construction box is a bit slow nowadays. It's still viable to pick up, but it is slower than the other coin boxes which you could get possibly along the way.
God has spoken. It is reasonably slow, although I think that if I were personally going to be routing, I would route out Squidboard box first. And I do believe that is still in the route, and that costs 6 seconds, as I recall, if I recall correctly.
I like to point out, how is it the person that doesn't run this game anymore is the person who knows all of the new routes?
Because Siler isn't.
Because I pay attention to the community, what it says.
Siler, don't make us look bad. Okay, we're gonna see.
He makes a good point. I don't pay attention to anything.
Gordon.
Oh, here's this new route. Here's this new route. Like, yeah, you just do your thing. I'll stick to mine now.
Yeah, I do have a sort of I do have something of a petulant side where I'm just like, now this is the route I learned, I'm just gonna stick with it. Taytay here. Actually, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. Crap circles. Okay, Taytay actually gets caught on both the ends as far as the culture is concerned, both on the monorail staircase and on the fire trunks. You should hang back slightly. Do not even be looking at the truck when it's driving through those 2 positions where it can actually crash, and it is significantly less likely to do said crash. And kind of fortunate they actually picked up some coins before the mission, because they now have to actually not get Town Hall at all. That is why many runners will pick up a lot of coins on approach with incriminating caffeine. Just a simple fact. It's kind of a difficult mission. And when you're kind of new to the game, your best time will be like 7 minutes 30 or something, because you'll have failed this twice. Don't lie to me. You failed this twice once, a good few times in PBs. I did, anyways.
I mean, for the record, I've only managed to fail it once. Like in not consecutive times. I've only managed to fail this once. I've never failed it twice in a row.
I think God is just here to remind us that we are all mere mortals.
No, I'm filling in for Seasoner. He's gone for a few minutes, so.
Okay. Okay, welcome, Cider. Okay, we see here a late buy of Apu American from Taytay, which is nowadays considered optimal.
It is considered optimal, yes, by about a couple of seconds, because it gains you an extra warp, and that's about it really. It just gains you an extra warp, about 5 seconds or so.
I don't think that was optimal as far as that's concerned, because I think the pin pass box is ratcheted out as a result, but Taytay did opt to pick it up anyway. Perhaps to account for the fact they did not pick up Camp Hall.
I don't think he needed that. Did he need that box? I'm not so sure.
It's just on the edge of it, because they already picked up the other side of Town Hall on approach to incrementing caffeine, so that would be my own personal theory, because they'd be about 18 points short right now had they not picked that up.
I see Taytay is not using the other route that is new, which it would be to avoiding the second limo and at the same time going towards the Town Hall. Because that's now in that's now in the new route. You don't do a before incriminating caffeine now. It's just faster to go there whilst in and baby makes 8. I think it's
that is something I've acknowledged myself. Yeah.
No, that's not in baby makes 8. Is it?
No, you're talking about this is on baby makes 8. This is 8 is too much. Is the name of this mission.
Oh, okay. It was one of those. They both have 8 in it. Close enough.
It's very confusing. Very forgettable names in Apu as far as I'm concerned. Except for Crit Cash, but that's just because of playing NG Plus and seeing that loading screen so bloody many times.
I don't know.
As you see here, Gordon's going to pick up. Is he going to pick up Mr. Plowjack? Woo!
What?
Oh my god! Simon, don't look at OBS. You gave it away.
No, that was crazy. The car just went miles, and that's unusual.
Oh, that is actually a trap. That is something of a baby fire.
But I've never seen anything like that before.
I didn't even know that place existed.
I mean, I knew that existed because you get that. You might be able to get to that location in 100% by destroying the hover car.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I've never done 100% run on air.
But my goodness, that was crazy.
That was pretty mental. Okay, we're going to see if Taytay's going to pick up the 2 boxes on the hospital lawn during this little piggy, because it is actually on the way, although most people prefer to pick it up.
Gordon in the meanwhile is just on to the final mission in level 4, which is very tricky. We'll see how he deals with it.
I imagine it's going to be backups galore. Just like based on what I've seen so far, I'm expecting to be backup. I think Taytay did not pick up that freebie based on the coin.
No, he didn't. No.
Yeah, this is not very composed from Gordon. The more composed method would be to be right behind the coal truck as it approaches this junction, slightly to the left-hand side, and then you can push it from behind straight into a wall.
There's other opportunities though.
Definitely does, yeah.
Not that one though.
Everything just by small enough margins, not doing it correctly, but those small margins add up, and you just see how far the couple truck gets. And not having picked up that box earlier, is going to have to pick it up now, allowing the color truck to get even further out.
Not really, you just intercept them there.
Well, I would say that had they not picked it up during that period, they would have been able to go for the dumpster by Krusty River, which is a very, very easy push to manage.
But he did get the box though.
No, I mean, I'm not talking about the box, I mean the dumpster itself. Hitting the color truck against that is a very, very good damage method.
Yeah, but he still destroyed it, it's fine.
True.
It's all good. Oh, he gets the red blazer instead of a box itself. Oh,
that is the priority.
Yes.
That is priority, and I love it.
I love it.
And moving on to second. This should, or should I say, I like it.
And we have a winner.
All right, I'll go back into hiding.
Okay, God is no longer speaking to to us. I am no longer the prophet. God is not communicating with me anymore. Gordon managing some reasonable damage. I don't think they're going to manage the actual strat, but they should get a fairly handy backup because there's good damage. And if you going to ride the cola truck, I gotta ride the cola truck. I gotta be the cola truck. And those suits of armor are a lot stronger than you might think. They are armor after all. There's a reason why knights of the Middle Ages were indestructible. Will there be a good hit on this garbage truck for Taytay? Ideally wanting to turn it 180 degrees around, not managing that at all. Although managing a semi-decent second hit, as Gordon looks very dangerously close to hit and run, should be trying to avoid all the nuclear power plant workers and not picking up any coins as far as I'm concerned, and letting that hit and run meter tick down and just picking up Krusty Burger at the end. This is not good. No, hitting third truck at the start, I just find it creates massive inconsistencies because the way in which it handles the very uneven road surface, it's just not predictable enough. You want to keep that truck predictable so you know when to touch it. As Taytay actually almost turns the garbage truck around, and not the best place right now for Gordon, as they are very close to hit and run, and they are not going to be keeping an eye on those pedestrians because they're too focused on the cola truck. They could get hit and run, and that is very detrimental because their points are not the best. I'll tell you what, that is a good metaphor for Brexit. Is the cola truck in? Is the cola truck out? I don't know. Oh, coins! And they're gonna get hit and run unless they avoid all the hay bales, which they do. As we move on to monorail.
Without trying to make this too political, I heard a very good joke about this topic once. My approach to sex is a lot like the government's approach to Brexit. I go in hard, then pull out when I realise I have no idea what I'm doing.
Speed Simpsons does not condone the views of 13_12_2. The views are seasoners own and not the views held by the Speed Simpsons community. As you see here, Taytay is opting for a slightly new route on, and what? What? It just phased through. The bend wasn't even there. He just phased through it. Can anyone explain to me what happened there? That was ridiculous. And I'm not liking those coins. 366 is not ideal. This is basically saying I am relying on getting armored truck, and I am relying on picking up those wasps that are in that area. I don't think they picked up any of the wasps in the area. I don't think they've got either sit and rotate or the police stairs bomb. Or wasp, sorry. So they do have plenty of points to pick up, but bloody hell. And now, as I was saying earlier, slightly new route because now you do this reset and you pick up the two final garbage cans afterwards. Although they did do the reset on the wrong side, you want to be on the left-hand side of the escalator, facing left. If you imagine what it'd be like if you managed to drive up the escalator perfectly straight, heavy for fend, and just slightly offset to the left, and then you'll get the reset you want, and then you drive through the final two fairly smoothly.
Because as we all know, straight is not okay.
These are the views and condoned by the Simpsons community. As you see here at Gordon, very nice on coins. I don't know if they're going to be going for early Apu American. They are slightly slow, but I imagine just fairly safe points. Perhaps bar 2, we're going to see a sparse coin right. Maybe no coins at the end of moment 2, which is one thing I see a lot of runners do. And it's something I always kind of face palmed on because oh my god, they went to army, then they went to B-sharps. My heart skipped a beat there. But I see a lot of newer runners when I used to sort of lurk around new runner streams and try to give them tips because I wanted to see new people get into the game, and when you don't know the coin route, I think it's one of the most discouraging things. Homer 2 has a lot of coins that are very easy to get, and they're very quick to get too. So don't try to have 500 by the end of bar 2. And we have I don't know who is currently in control of Speed Simpsons, but we are being told that Gordon is 2 minutes behind PB. Although I'm always confused by that because 2 minutes under is good, 2 minutes over is bad. I'll just shrug my shoulders and say, and falling slightly far behind Colour Truck. It was speculated a while ago that if you're too far behind Colour Truck, there is a greater possibility that the Colour Truck will go the long way round, as Taytay manages what appears to be the backup of Armoured Truck. I did not see if there's perhaps difficulty with their traffic, but they manage a decent position here, and they should be getting all these coins. And the Armoured Truck has us in game, so I think that we're going to be seeing some coin grinding. Hooray! In part 2, or Cargo for Hammer Strap. What would you do, Seasoner? WWSD. What would Seasoner do?
Run away.
Just exit program. Forehead. Albeit I don't think that's an option. Or a console runner.
Well,
and that's a very interesting bit of pattern from the Armoured
the
Truck.
equivalent option is just called quit game.
I think any quick game though, you can actually resume game, and it won't actually, it won't be a detriment. I think for you it's like pop the hood of the GameCube. So
Yeah,
that's
it's essentially just like quit to main menu after the next program.
This is looking a bit tenuous. Although I'd say that the damage on Snake's car is fine. They're about 2 hits, maximum 1 hit, it turns out, away from the destruction. I'm gonna ask whoever's on Sweet Simpsons, when you say that, are they both behind as in like plus time on PB, or are they minus time on PB? I assume in the case of both it's plus time.
Plus.
Yeah, based on the fact that Taytay has had 2 strats go wrong, had to reset missions, and Gordon has just had a bit of a calamity at times. And also that sellout, we cannot understate how bad sellout was for Taytay. Those coins are looking very bad. Meanwhile, Gordon's coins looking very good.
Where is Roger? Sorry, where's Gordon go?
Raj. Let's how about we talk about Raj? What a delightful human being Raj is.
Why did I think of that?
I wonder what
Where's
Raj is
Gordon
up to
going?
right now. I wonder what Raj is doing. That what you do with there is you go to the other side of Town Hall, because it's a sufficient straight line distance away from the limo to get the escape. And it allows you to pick those up pretty free. And you don't have to pick them up on a push with him in caffeine or during it, because those stairs can be very finicky as far as that's concerned. Especially in Longhorn. What is Raj up to right now? Probably doing something northern.
Like gravy on chips or something.
Probably talking about tip lines and hating Margaret Thatcher. Now Taytay is going to be trying to go. That's very good. A bit of a poor. Okay, I think I know who's on Speed Simpsons right now. It's Gady, with that lovely dulcet tone of voice. And Taytay misses cutscene skip, and all I'm going to say is, I like it.
Shiva H. Vishnu. The cola is dripping from the
J'adore.
Deadly cola.
Mi piace. I think that's how. No, it'd be mio piace. How would it be in Italian? Mio piace, I think it would be. And in. What would it be in German? Ich liebe? Perhaps? Me gusta. Are they going to escape from the massive skeleton T-Rex? Okay, they do. Okay, that was close. Bloody hell, that I don't know about you, but that's too. I thought for a second that Taytay's run might be over. Because if the massive cola mad T-Rex get you, it actually deletes sharp NPC. You have to be very careful at that point. Kodos! Fullest Athens is down in all key demos. But our show concept was so brilliant. We filmed these idiotic dot bipeds doing. I don't recall what the line is. And beam it to every television show in the galaxy. Biped, incidentally, means two-legged.
These aliens have been secretly filming an intergalactic reality show in
I like it.
I knew there was a simple explanation.
Chateau!
to the
Oh,
water
like it.
supply. People's
I'm going to introduce the cola to the water supply.
distribute laser guns at the Squidport tourist area.
I like it.
The cola
Ah, ha, 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 ha,
I like it. Destroying themselves
ha.
and their town. Delivering big space.
I'd say in this case, like, Apu Cutscenescape is an example of one of the cutscenes that just basically kills or makes a run and also can cause a race to be won or lost. But in the case of this, like, Taytay has been fairly steady, not done anything absolutely terrible. 2 resets of missions, a bit of an iffy sellout. But 2.5 minutes honestly doesn't really matter that much at this point. I'd say we're looking at about 5 waste blow ups. And I'm not trying to like oversell this. I say that 5 waste blow ups when you have to reset the mission in Autopsy 2 and 3. That's what's required to let Gordon back in. Because I don't see Gordon having a magnificent late game. I think they're going to be steady, but they're going to be slow. 469 points.
With how far they are behind their PB, they may just think, you know what, just screw it and we'll go for it.
Yeah, there's nothing to play for, basically, other than a PB for them. Although, again, like newer runners, they tend to be quite dogmatic about their rights. They just say, oh, I have to get these coins, but the car's going to get away if I get these coins. But I have to get these coins. Mission failed. We'll get them next time. Everyone, board! Hey Mom, I have something to tell you. I got an abort jump. This is Bart's line. He's good.
I think he goes E.
Indeed. Let's see how Gordon not even opting to go for a push on the garbage truck, although fairly calm garbage truck at that, so it's not the end of the world.
I'll never lose these lovely
Probably going to be going for a mini grind. I doubt they're going to, they're not going to destroy everything. Everyone, enjoy coin grinding while you can. It's only going to happen once. On Taytay's screen anyways. That should be enough, but while you're here, I think it is faster to do that vending machine, because it's very close and it'll be on your way in the natural route you're going to take during your coin collection. One little tip for you: on Never Trust a Snake, after the final garbage can has been collected from the garbage truck, that garbage truck will despawn if you look forwards and backwards. So if it's in your way, just set the camera. It's gone. No longer in your way.
Yeah, quite a lot of cars that AI cars that drop things that they despawn automatically, or the camera thing does it.
Very cautious from Gordon here. And I imagine a very cautious Coinard as well. I'm expecting to see near total collection. Although they are being quite slow, so time might actually be of the essence. Although the route that speedrunners are given and the reset points and so on should make like time just not matter. But if you go slow enough, this could just be a bit of an issue. I don't see it happening yet. I'll raise attention to it if I do actually think this is starting to look risky. Now for getting down on the cloud. I know what I said.
My butt hurts. Whoa, wicked. My butt hurts.
Did that lamppost just go into the stratosphere on Taytay's screen? I think it just happened. Always good when that happens.
At least there wasn't a kiss of death. That's happened to me too many times that I'd like to admit.
IRL or in-game?
Alright, that was so cool.
Both.
Didn't know you were such a mafioso. Let's see.
I do what I like.
It's time for some road.
Oh, what the heck is Hovercar doing? It's trapped. Although it gets out fairly quickly. And there's nothing I don't understand. Why is it just hover over the whole level? Plot twist, plot twist, plot twist. Or plot hole, I should say. Yeah, time looks okay on Taytay's screen, on Gordon's screen. I think they went for a fairly sparse point out for the rest of it. They might have gone for the wasp. Up on the, up near where the fire truck is parked with the vans, but it was fairly safe for turning here. Trapped like a moth in a bath. Taytay here, I think forgot that they picked up those coins earlier at the start of 6-1 to fix their coins. They could have gone for Krusty Ritter and also Wally. I always forget if it's Wally Weasel or Chucky. No, Chucky Cheese is the one that exists in real life. Noiseland Arcade is, yeah, so it would be Wally Weasel. The Wally Weasel car park and also the Krusty Ritter is our two vending machines they could have gotten instead. As we see here, a bit of a rough start to Armored Truck. Are we expecting to see Armored Truck successfully achieved by either runner? Taytay so far did not manage it. Oh, that is late. That is not going to be a successful Wiggum escape. They did not make contact with that wall soon enough. Although they do get the escape, I don't think it was by the strat. I think it was just by Wiggum's poor driving. This is not gonna work. They made contact too early. It just can't work. Has this... What? Okay. I think I might just be being hoisted upon my own petard here. That looks a bit wide. You ideally want him to be crashing into the stairs.
I think he's got away with it.
A part of me wants that Armored Truck to get out just to be proven right because I can be that petty. I mean, I don't want it to get out, but if it does get out, I won't be sad. No, I do want this to be okay because Armored Truck is a strat that most people don't get earlier on, and it does get out. I am vindicated! Although I think this is actually beneficial for Gordon. I imagine they didn't get Armored Truck with FPV. I'm actually going to quickly check their run comment because often people do leave that kind of stuff in their run comment to see if they did or didn't get Armored Truck.
I know I did.
I just know many people will often leave it in their run comments because it is a fairly significant part of the run. Let's see. I just need to double check this. They missed cutscene skip once. Let's see. I'm just going to do a very quick check here. Yeah, actually they appear to have gotten a reasonably decent quick catch in PV. So this might actually be losing them time.
You got it.
See here how FMJ goes. I didn't actually see how Duff Truck went. I was too busy looking at the at speedrun.com. How did Duff Truck go for Taytay?
Well, I'm imagining quite good because it was a goal.
Nice. And let's see how F&J goes here. This looks good. Good approach, good finish, and get in there. Earlier on, I let Skinner move around a bit too much before going into him because I was still thinking about a very weird Duff Truck I'd had, and he just escaped on me. And Gordon not opting to pick up some coins that perhaps they could be getting around now. Their coins have gone from very good to kind of not great, and I don't like that. As we land a second kill for Taytay. Nope, that is not the way to do it. You need to be behind Curator. Again, opting to make contact too early, meaning that the Curator slows down, meaning that collision got less damage on it. And thank you very much for that head looking back. It wasn't really that difficult. We had the viewership, we had everything we needed. It was just a case of the stream, and I would like just to quickly remind everyone, every single bit, every single cent that we make from every sub, every bit, every donation, although I don't think we have a Streamlabs donation thing set up, I could be wrong, is going to charity. We do not know yet. However, at the moment, we believe that we are going to give to several charities. Taytay opted to go for a fast set to kill. Basically, we opt not to pick up several of the squid port laser stands in order to pick them up later because there's a reset one, which is very handy. I assume Taytay will be going for the boat jump because, and Gordon Magic, yeah, cutscenes get. Taytay appears to have a high frame rate from what I've surmised from things like dirt jump and so on. The reset works out good, and they should be fine here for time. Successful boat jump. Well done, Taytay. And now both runners in level 6. Although that's been true for the past 2.5 minutes, technically speaking, if we work on Taytay's timer. And finishing up set to kill with plenty of time to spare, as again, Gordon's coins went from very good to very bad. They opted not to pick up anything in Curious Curator, even though there were 2 boxes available. If they're about 60 coins short, those 2 boxes are the difference between needing to do anything and that, like needing to do coin grinding and not needing to do coin grinding. Taytay's coins now looking pretty ideal. They'll pick up 31 extra points for free as long as the alien card does not get caught, and we do have second board. Spam it in the chat, everyone. I'd say Taytay's coins are fine if they pick up Neighbor's Garden and Crusty Burger. So long as the alien card does what it has to do, they will be fine. And here, Gordon's coins again. Just not looking that great. If they had picked up the watts at the lighthouse along with the 2 boxes they had available to them at the start of at the start of 5-7, they'd have enough coins. They wouldn't have to do anything here. But now they're either going to have to destroy the coin grind room and sacrifice some coins that they can use later on, or do a coin grind, which is time expensive. And they won't be going for card for Homer strats. They would have already gone to phone booth if they were doing that. And they're going to be destroying coins here. As we see, does Taytay get the final cutscene skip? And it's a 3-pause success. Moving into rigor motors. Opting to destroy the vending machine but grind the coin room. I'm not too sure about that strategy. And should have enough coins based on the coins available around. If they do the smart thing, they'll do a mission warp rather than running out security. And they're not going to do the smart thing.
Choosing not to walk because of how long the loads are. I mean, it doesn't.
It wouldn't matter that their time in IGT would be faster.
That is true. It's just like, do you know what? I can't be bothered.
And the console running brain. The console running brain.
It's like, this is technically faster, but I cannot be bothered.
Gordon look like they're going to go for Studio 8 box, but just opted against it. Perhaps they have some kind of marker where they say, hey, if the truck is this far, I go for it. If it's further than that, I don't go for it. Taytay's coins now coming together. They're just going to need 2 boxes and 3 extra. Or no, they're only going to need 2 boxes maximum. Or 1 box and 14 extra coins. Although obviously 2 boxes is much more than that.
As we see, because Taytay is 17 points over, and buying the zombie card plays a 17-hour penalty.
Gordon with a chance to come back in. Although Taytay might be able to redeem this by picking up 52 coins in various places throughout this level in order to finish up with the objectively best number. I lie actually, they're about 42,000 coins short of the best number. But I believe the game would crash if we grinded it to a number that high. Gordon hadn't opt for a reset there due to the robot arm, which is on a global cycle. Basically means as long as you're in the level, that arm is operational. And there's no way of influencing it by creating, because the game basically loads different areas of the game, and often many areas of the game are unloaded. That is the principle behind a great deal of our out of bounds strategies, which we're going to see if Taytay will be going for the 7-6 out of bounds because they're on too high a frame rate. I believe to do any others, or at least do them reliably. And PB should be pretty much dead in the water for them. They're looking at about 141-ish, I suppose.
So actually it's looking close to being somewhere around the 140 flat.
Depends on what they do. Will they go for out of bounds? Will they have smooth driving? I'm sort of giving a very general estimate, to be honest.
But I'm bored of this level.
I'm glad.
Piece of cake.
Okay, I think they might be going for out of bounds. No, they won't. Oh no, my apologies. I my mistake. I looked at their splits there and saw that their best time, their PB time was 1 minute 20 on this, but I forgot to factor in the fact that that is a normal time for a hover car. I forgot that you don't have to drive to and from the plant, you just have to drive to the school. See here how Gordon does on lap code caper should be fairly easy. Lower runners typically will play this immensely safe, do not follow. Frank could all just chill in the middle of his big circles and he will do the rest for you.
That was incredible. Glurvik, I can't seem to Glurvik. A good lord.
The only mistake he made was not kicking the crap out of Squeaky Boy's team.
Indeed. Looking at the splits from before, I do believe we are looking at a 141 because approximating all the times that they have in their PB, they have about 8 minutes and 13 seconds left of time that it took for them to finish the rest of the missions in PB. So if they match their PB, they should finish with about a mid 140 at the moment.
Sweet.
And Gordon going into the observatory at an inopportune time because Frank does not have an objective marker over his head. And if he does not have an objective marker over his head, he can't start the mission. Seasoner, it's that black car again. Oh my god, it has the speed of a sub-boss, combined with the tenacity of a level boss. Wow. I suppose one piece of good news is that they're approximately a level apart, so we're going to hear all the Homer 2 audio twice. Because we do have time between this race and the next. The next race is starting in 1 hour and 25 minutes. So plenty of time for Gordon to finish, should they so wish. As long as Taytay finishes, Gordon can DNF and not take any penalties. DNF penalties only apply so long as the result of the race is not officially finished. And official finishing is basically, has your opponent finished? Although technically speaking, it hasn't finished until Gordon's timer is higher than Taytay's is when it finishes. This looks good. Oh, just about missing it though. And Duff Choke just doing a little bit of a sleight of hand moment. Managing to avoid. This is very unfortunate, Duff Choke.
This is very bad.
Ouch! My bikini zone's chafing.
This is not good. That hit looked like a proper hit, although I suppose they're almost fortunate it wasn't. Because had they fallen where I think the laser box would have fallen, they would have been crashed into head first by the police. Because it is very easy just to go, oh, I need that drop, I'll go for it. Without accounting for, hey, I generally know how the police tend to behave, and this is where they're going to go. Final drop should be now, and hit and run is over. They have not been busted, they're safe, although it's just very, very slow for them, sadly. As Taytay finishes off on the parkour without dropping and moves into the first of 3 out of top 2 missions, or in other words, Control C, Control B, Control V. Better change up a bit, otherwise they're going to think I just copied the other stuff I did. Just add in some extra cards and some other characters. No one will notice. It'll be fine.
Just make them ever so slightly different. Like include an escape subplot in one of them.
And one of them grab a race, that's no one will notice. Although we do have evidence within the game files that level 8 and level 9, I don't know about level 10, was actually planned for. So, apparently either time or money sort of came up against Team Radical, and they just had to finish the game. And it really does show, because this level only has about 3 things it does, and it just does them over and over again. There's no missions where you have to hit something and make it drop something. There's no missions in which anything of any uniqueness happens.
There's also only half of the map accessible.
That is true.
Half the map.
I have this personal headcanon that the area of the map that is cordoned off is the rich area, the 739 area, the 939 area. And the reason is because when an apocalypse happens, people gotta save the rich people, because they can afford to put up all those fortifications to ensure that they are not caught up in the crossfire. It's a very interesting, and subtle commentary on the nature of wealth in the modern world, and how those without it are seen as disposable. And yes, I am completely talking out of my ass, I agree. Taytay opted for all of 0 at about. The 7.6 was the final one available, and would have been the reset heavy one, because Bridgecliff is not available due to the higher frame rate that I assume Taytay is on, although I would probably ask that as my first question. Just to confirm what I suspect, as Gordon moves on, the set to kill couldn't be going for fast track, and has a very, very favourable hit and run meter, should be absolutely fine. Just bring it home, as long as you don't manage a bad reset, and as long as your driving is very smooth. This is going to be a very safe set to kill, which is very good for a runner of that caliber. Getting a good set to kill, that's one of the things you want down. Good incrementing caffeine, good wolf stomach pills, good set to kill, and the rest you can just route hints and back on. Gordon here with a very nice amount of time left, 23 seconds more than enough to finish the rest of the mission. Although with a bad reset or hitting them with fire, it could go wrong, although that looks like a good reset to me. But shows what I know, they should be fine though, there is enough time to pick up all the drops as long as they don't run.
Hit and run's going to be an issue.
It shouldn't be, the place where they're going to actually trigger the hit and run, as long as they do the boat reset rather than boat jump. The places where the cop cars will respawn will not be dangerous, because the game doesn't factor into the fact that we are going to do that, and they pretend as though we're going to drive around C-Spanker. And it's nice and safe, as long as they talk to Krusty in due time. The police cars will not be busting them, although they should jump, and they do. Well done. Jumping, because if you don't, you're going to be rooted for during that mission complete animation, and at that point, you're standing still. Standing still equals fun.
Although luckily, as soon as the mission ends, the cop, even if you get run over, once the mission's over, you don't actually get busted.
It can happen. You can get busted and not lose the coins, but also you can get busted. There's a very small window in which that can happen. And I don't know what the window's like, and I'm immensely paranoid, especially at the end of 6-1 and over that hit and run, because you've got to be on the run to get to Kearney. As we see the final mission of 2 separate levels being played, both of them actually in a race. We'll see how Gordon does, see how Taytay does. Both of them should win their races fairly handily. We'll see how that cutscene's composed for Gordon, having managed, I think they've managed all 2 so far, which is a very respectable way to go.
Get out of my way! Every minute might be my last!
I'm checking now, Taytay is 3 minutes ahead of PB, so is already unable to get PB. I'm checking on Gordon, although I'll try not to spoil anything. They are 2 minutes and 17 seconds behind PB, so they're going to be a little bit tight, although they have a 16:54 Homer 2. So they're not really, they have a lot of time to save. A 12-minute home, I'm not exactly sure. I might ask God to speak into my ears and to tell me what a higher tier Homer 2 time would be. God, are you listening? God!
He's too busy playing on his prey station.
No, I think God has the answer to this box. Anyone who hasn't played Simpsons game has not a fucking clue what we're talking about. But I assure you, this is top quality commentary right here. As we see
content.
Tate finishing up as stipulated at the start of Homer 2 by a seasoner with a mid 140, a very, very respectable time. I think we can invite Tay in because we are expecting a little bit of time. So if Tay doesn't have the time to stick around, you're invited into the voice call if you want to have an after race interview. Although if you want to stick around and see Gordon to the end so that you can both enter this voice call together, having been in this race together, you can do that too. Although I do understand if you don't want to wait, because we can be looking at perhaps about a 15-minute wait until Gordon finishes.
Dad, I'm really proud of you for rescuing us
all I'm going to say is at least our show was a success. But what I'm wondering is, why did we go to Earth Heaven when we died?
You're the town hero.
At least we don't have to sit through the stupid video game credits.
Gestures downwards.
No.
Racing next is Zoton, who is kind of an absolute OG of Simpsons hit and run speedrunning, full stop. Like one of the originals, right there with Pessimistic Mango, the originals. Playing KSFQ, a newer runner who is incredible. So we have a back-to-back Russian runners, actually, in GordonCMB and KSFQ. We're expecting to see another, while the caliber is actually heightened, the actual differential between the two runners is significantly greater, and I am expecting to see much more consistency from KSFQ than we have seen from Taytay, because Taytay is still at that level where things go wrong, happens to me, happens to everyone, doesn't happen to some people. Those some people are called Vapo, KSFQ, Bacon Man, Liquid Wi-Fi, and so on. So Zoton will be up against it, as we see long black probes being played by Gordon, as we see the 1 hour 40 mark slowly tick up, and the race will be officially decided at the moment at which Gordon's timer hits 1:40:31, and they've not finished. Autopsy Part 3. And I assume, unless they have some real strats up their sleeve, that's not going to happen. Managing a fairly good long black probes, you want to be ahead of the alien car, because this game has no object permanence except for objective cars and cars that are very close to you. So if you do not look at them, they do not exist. So if you stay a certain distance ahead of the car, it will essentially meet no resistance because all the cars behind you have despawned. So it's just driving a road. As long as it does not itself mess up its driving, it will be smooth and it will be fast. As we see here, an example of non-smooth driving due to traffic being in the way.
Because the point where the next mission starts isn't where the alien car stops. If we're in front of the alien car, you don't have to drive. You can instantly start the next mission.
That is true. However, I would say that in the case of Gordon right there, and Gordon is going to be going for the out of bounds, and that is not a good first attempt. Will they be going for a second? Let us see. They're going for a slightly different setup than what I see most people do. Most people try to reverse in between and actually having to reset the mission right now. They should, anyway. If they want to do more out of bounds, they're going to have to damage that car. So you may as well reset. It's actually quicker to reset because you do not have to wait for the respawning of the waste. Although, again, as Susan said earlier, this might just be a case of, am I really that bothered to wait for my load time? And they're going to take this conventionally now. I'm going to do a quick check on their PV, see if they have any glaringly long missions in their PV to make sure that they have check if they have any chance of re-getting PB. And by the looks of things, the answer is no. So we're going to be seeing Gordon here going against it, but they probably won't get PB, sadly, although I do wish them the best for the rest of their run here. Although actually checking on their stream, they're actually only 8 seconds ahead of PB. My apologies, I did not actually check. They must have been very bad on coins in their PB because their rigor motor's time is extremely high. So we are actually looking at a very potential PB here. Albeit perhaps as a result of having tried this out of bounds and being unsuccessful, they might be falling further behind because we do see that timer is red. And freebie, absolutely brilliant. 5 coins short of an optimal amount. Just checking on the times they have for the rest of their run. They definitely have time to save in their autopsies. And given the fact that they're playing against they're playing like currently behind PB, they don't actually have to play it safe.
Depends on how much time save there is in the rest of the game.
Well, they have a 249 autopsy 2 and a 245 autopsy 3. Both of those have easily 30 seconds to save on them. Albeit 30 seconds with some fairly risky driving. Like you'd be expecting like a mid-high tier runner to be able to save 30 seconds on that. Although a very high tier runner could save about 40 seconds on both those. And will they manage to get their parkour? That is the question. I accidentally was watching their stream, so there is a single moment at which it was a little bit risky, but they did not fall off, fortunately. Sudden, very, very strong flash of red light. And oh my god. That was so close. Okay, once you get to the second last girder, it's basically impossible to fall unless you intend to. You can run up the side of the crashed UFO. And I thought for a second they'd not done it, but they managed it just about. And a quick check on their PB time, they are 28 seconds ahead of PB, and they got a rainbow in that last split, so they do have a good chance, I think. As long as they manage a decent autopsy 1, they could be primed for, albeit a very thin, PB. Easy as she goes. I think a little bit too safe to be on PB pace here. I didn't actually check their autopsy one time, and I'm not looking at their splits again. But this looks a little bit slow. They're gonna need to really drive like balls to the wall if they want to get a PB with the final 2 autopsies. Oh yeah, my apologies. I actually forgot that Gordon didn't get off cutscene skip there. My memory is genuinely terrible. The question is, will I check Seasoner? Will I check the PB? Will I see if they're still gaining time on PB, or will we remain blind to that?
PB is actually really possible for them right now.
I'll do a little. I'll have a little glance. Yeah, 18 seconds. There's 18 seconds to save in one of these alone. The second autopsy is actually done like not very well. My PB has a pretty bad second autopsy by my standards, and I am 18 seconds faster on it. And I do understand that when you are a newer runner, and me included, even to this day, I am still the most shaky individual when it comes to like going into autopsy and just being like, I'm just taking it so slow and safe. So I would not put it against Gordon if they were doing that earlier, but now is the time to put the pedal to the metal and just get to the end. Oh, for a second I thought we are going to see Bridge Cliff.
We're going to see attempts at it anyway.
Spooky Craig, no, don't get in the way. No, come on, get in there. I think this might be the explanation as to why there might be, they might have had a poor time. They might have attempted this in PB, but not managed it. Similar to now. Although if they succeed, this should be time save. Yes! Go on, Gordon. You can do this. I believe in you. Okay, they just need to make sure they do not respawn in the area. Good. Okay, they're staying out of bounds. This is a possible PB. Let's go. Come on, everyone. Cheer them on. Let's go, Gordon. Okay, let's go. Oh, I think they're spawned too high. I don't think they can't talk to Grandpa. I think they're going to have to reset, which means that they are going to lose a bit of time. However, looking at their PB time, they have a 2-minute 45-second autopsy 3.
Yep,
that is beatable by a lot.
It means that there's no issue with them not triggering the race and completely screwing themselves over.
Yeah, of course. They're not doing a crit, obviously. We're going to see now. Yeah, I think they're definitely within PB range right now. Although I'm going to actually check the exact seconds of the PB because
They are currently 31
151.40.
31 seconds green.
This is a big chance. Although
they don't drop the waste, there's every chance.
If they don't drop the waste, they have this, but they can save a lot of time here if they really go for it. But I think they're going to play it safe. They're going to opt for this safe 25-second PB rather than the slightly risky 42-second PB. Which I can't say like I judge them for it because I know I'd probably be the same back when I was a bit newer to the game. Pretty good on hit and run. We're going to see if they're going to reset their hit and run meter by getting in and out, which is something we've seen my co-commentator Seasoner do basically every single race.
Because I'm a scrub.
A scrub and a coward who will not do Quimby impressions. I'll tell you what, if Gordon gets a PB, will you do a Quimby impression?
No.
Come on, you gotta. Sticking to his cowardly principles to the very end. Gordon here driving pretty decently, a little bit too skiddy for my liking, and going for a higher, safer jump on that tire fire, it works, but it's slower because you want to get to the ground faster because there might be a rocket on the end of your car, but you can't fly, I'm afraid. Very nice jump through the cemetery right there. My own personal thing is I'll often do a quick RBB. Okay, just about managing.
Almost screwed over by this game's physics.
Stop it, game. Give it to Gordon. Come on, give it to Gordon. Okay, probably not going to be getting the 150. Probably took it a little bit too safe. But we're looking at a pretty safe PB so long as they do not crash into anything. 150, 140 was their previous PB. Will they be making a new PB? I will not say they will be because that is a curse of the commentator. Will they get it? That is not a proper launch. Reset your car, please. They will get this in 151.20. I'm going to put my neck online and say 3. No, it's going to be 4. It's going to be 5. Congrats. I will invite Gordon into the chat should they so wish. Those as either you remember you changed the scene earlier, yeah. 151.25. There you go. Okay, we're gonna invite Gordon into the VC if they would like to come in. I'll keep an eye to make sure that they have not already done so and they've not been paying attention. Okay, so I guess will we ask via text or will we ask via our voices? I suppose text is a little bit quicker because there's no stream delay. So ask some questions. I'll fill. I'll just jazz hands. I'll fill for a while. Okay, so the result of this race is a 1:40:30 for Taytay, who is the victor over a new PB of 1:51:25 for GordonCMB. Well done to both runners, and commiserations on the race loss. However, well done on the PB, Gordon. Within their group, it now shapes up. Oh, we have someone in the chat, although we believe they do not have a mic. So I suppose type in the chat, how do you feel, new PB? How you doing? While we wait, so this now means that the Group 4 is now lined up. Duck Bob and Taytay are tied in first place with 2 wins from 2 games each. Ben Pye and Gordon are tied in third place with 2 losses from 2 races each. And final runner, Winsipper, has not raced yet and thus is just not going to be down there for a while. They are the 5th seed, so this is the person we're expecting Ben Pye and Gordon to be able to beat relatively reliably, because there are upsets, but they aren't incredibly common. And going forward, we'll see how Group 4 is lining up. We're going to see Group 4 come back in a few days on the 17th of July at 1 p.m. We'll see Winsipper's first race playing against Taytay, and that will be Taytay's final race until they have to play Duck Bob, which is going to be basically probably what we can see now. I think mathematically speaking now is going to be the decider of who is first and who is second in that. Yeah, I think we'll also leave whoever. I think Gady's in charge of Speed Simpsons, and Gady is quite a good interviewer, so I'll let Gady also ask 1 or 2 questions. Oh, my apologies. I might have missed out on that.
For the record, it is actually Cypher.
Oh, my apologies. I thought that the comment about the northern voices was Gady. Okay, so Taytay and Duck Bob are actually racing tonight at 9 p.m, commentated by the lovely team of Aquadream and Sparrow. That should be the decider. I don't think there's any permutation that can cause both of them to leave the top. Unless, I think there's, maybe a weird one where if the 5th seed, I don't know, has been hiding strats or something, they can get, they can maybe knock both out. And going forward, we're going to be seeing Zoton versus KSFQ, commentated by Sparrow and Appleson. Sparrow is going to be doing a double, and Apple is going to be doing a double rehost with 1 commentary in there. So any other questions for the runners, whether it be Taytay or Gordon, please do leave them in the chat for them to answer, because they are not mic'd up. Siler, I believe the next race is at 6 p.m. according to our spreadsheet. Whatever PM. I'll just tell you, 58 minutes, the next race will start. Between second place runner and first seed in Group 2, KSFQ and Zotan, probably one of the oldest runners with Pessimistic Manga. So I think that's all we have time for, unless there are any questions. I suppose we can kind of chill in the chat as well, if we want to ask any of the runners questions. Caesar, do you have anything to say?
I'm just glad that there wasn't a DNF, that things went relatively smoothly, and that we all had a good time.
Wow, Caesar right up there for loser bats. Can't we all just hope that all the horses have a good time?
Just one thing to say from me. I thought it was a very good race overall. It may have been a little bit one-sided, but you both hung it in there, and you guys do deserve PB's next race if you keep up the practice and all. So keep it up, and you'll get far.
Most definitely. As a race, this wasn't close, but as individual racers, as far as like your actual like PBs are concerned, as far as how traffic was dealt to you, how everything happened, you did very well, and you showed yourselves off to be very good, and also people that, you know, people probably don't want to be facing you in the bracket, whichever one you end up going to. So thank you to Susan for being my lovely, I believe I can say Susan was indeed the sex appeal co-host. And thank you to Cider for the smooth. Thank you to Cider, aka God, for the very nice I rehost along with whatever PM BST.